What's up, Jooba People? Welcome to this lesson. Today we're doing the pentatonic scale, the scale that everybody loves and uses the most on guitar. And everybody usually starts with the A minor pentatonic scale. And we're going to be learning today how to use that scale all over the neck. So if you want to start your scale with the plain G minor pentatonic scale, and you want to play it all over the neck, and you want to know how to do that, you're going to learn that in this video. What's up, Benjamin? Welcome to the show. So this video is meant to accompany this PDF that I created for this. So I'm just going to quickly give you a brief overview of it. It starts with just some music theory of the pentatonic scale. We're going to go over this in the video, but if you get the PDF, it's a really nice thing to save, and then to just be able to go through. It's going to go through the first pattern and just explain the theory behind it, why I use these numbers on the scale, and why that's going to help you in the future. Some ways to practice the scale, which we all are going to cover in this video, but it's really nice to have it in the PDF. The major pentatonic scale, which you can also use as the minor one of the shapes. So there's only 3 shapes that you need to know, just so you know, to solo with the scale. You just need 3 shapes. You don't need 5 shapes, 1 for every note. You just need 3 shapes, and that will connect your whole fretboard so you can solo with the pentatonic scale. It's going to also show you in the end how to connect all 3 patterns. Okay, so that's the way you do that. Okay, so let's first start by talking about the music theory. Okay, so the music theory behind this scale. This scale, pent, comes from the word 5, which means like the pentagon, 5 sides. So the pentatonic scale has only 5 different notes. The 1, and we're going to be talking about the minor pentatonic scale. We'll do the major a little bit, but we'll focus mainly on the minor pentatonic. The 1, the flat 3, the 4, the 5, the 7, the flat 7 actually, and then back to the 1. So it's only got 5 different notes. Now the reason why we've chosen those 5 notes versus any other 5 notes is because when you're playing chords in a certain key, so let's say I'm playing in the key of C or A minor, right? I'm going to use a certain set of chords. And those 5 notes of the A minor pentatonic scale tend to sound good over each of those 5 chords. Okay, none of them tend to clash horribly. So if I'm taking the like, all those notes sound good. If I add the notes from the natural scale, like the do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, then I'm going to get this. Then you get a little bit different sound. So the basic theory that you need to understand from the pentatonic scale is the 5 notes that it is tend to sound good over most of the chords played in the key. So your chances of sounding excellent are much higher than if you use the normal minor scale or the normal major scale. So if you take the major pentatonic scale, for example, it omits the 4th note and the 7th note. Now those notes can sound really clashing over some chords. If I give you an example, let's say we're playing in the key of C major. I just want to see what these guys are saying in the comments. Thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks, Benjamin. Okay. I'm testing up a different stream setup because so let me know if the quality of everything's good. This is what the close-up is going to look like. Boom. And from next week, I'm going to be doing scheduled live streams. So you can check that on my channel, upcoming live streams scheduled, which is going to change. And if you're on my email list, you'll get the notifications for that as well. Okay, and this is the boom, boom. Anyway, okay. So basically, the pentatonic scale, it just gives you 5 notes that sound good over most chords. So if you use the pentatonic scale to solo versus the major scale or the minor scale, you just have higher chances of sounding really good. And the patterns work really well on a guitar. They just fit really nicely. Okay. let's go to the first pattern that most people learn, and we're just quickly going to learn it. I'll put a close up here so you guys can see this. Okay, so this is the minor pentatonic scale. The reason we use the numbers is just because that helps you in the future to understand the intervals better. So if we start on the 5th fret, it's going to be the A minor pentatonic scale. So wherever you start, that will give you the name of the scale. So let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, so that's the pattern. Oh, my guitar's a little bit out of tune. Okay, so that's your pentatonic scale. It's important to memorize where the root notes are, the green ones. Right over there, right over there, and right over there. And this will become more apparent later in your playing, that it's very good to know the root notes. Because if you're soloing and you want to copy a riff, like maybe play the riff higher up, and you know the riff is 1-3, then you can do like... And for instance, if I sometimes say, add in your minor pentatonic scale, add the flat 5th. Then you're like, where's the flat 5th? But if you've learned your scale, you've learned that the 5th note sits over there, right? Let me just go back to that scene. The 5th note sits over there. So if I'm like, okay, add the flat 5th, and you're like, okay, the note just before the 5th. Then you know you can add that note in your scale. Or if I say add the note just before the 7, the major 6, then you know, okay, the 7's there. So if I add the major 6, it's going to be the... You see what I mean? And later when you're connecting the shapes, it just helps a lot more to learn it like this. Okay, so that's your 1, flat 3, 4, 5, 7, and 1. I call that the 7 because it just takes too long to say flat 7. And sometimes you call this just the 3 if you're in a minor pentatonic context. Okay, so that's the first shape that you need to learn. Some ways that you can play it, practice it. Okay, the first way is just to practice it up and down. So just 1, 2, 3. And the second way to play it is just to play double notes. And one of my favorite ways is in groups of 3. So you go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I just did something different at the end. But when you go back down, it's really fun. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then when you do that with hammer-ons and pull-offs, it sounds really cool. Really cool. And then noodling just to like boom dee da dee da dee do da 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 da. So that's the great ways to practice this scale. Okay, then we go to the second scale, which is the major pentatonic now, but we're going to focus on this shape, where it's the same shape, but we're going to do it using the... Let me just make this a little bit bigger here. Okay, that's nice. Where it's the same shape, but the intervals are different. So we're going to use it as a minor pentatonic. So this note, if we're playing the A minor scale, the pinky is going to be on the flat 3, right? So then there we're going to start this shape. So this is technically going to be C major, but we're going to use it as a minor. So anyway, here we go. I'm going to play it for you. Ba, 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 ba. See, we're back at the root. I'm starting on the 8th fret. Okay, 8th fret, and I'm just going like this. Pretty simple, right? Okay, so, and we'll connect the shapes in a minute, but that's basically the second shape. Okay. Okay, starts on the 8th fret. Okay, so that's it for the second shape. Then we're going to the third shape, which we're not going to be playing up here, high up here, because then it just becomes difficult to read. So we're going to be playing it here on the 5th fret. Okay. So we're going to start with the green one. We also start with the root note, but these two notes are also included, but we're going to start here. Okay, so that's your 1, flat 3, 4, 5. You see the relationship of the 5 and the 4 is always the same. There's your root note again, and then your third root note is going to be. Okay, now the fun part starts, connecting these shapes. Okay, this is going to be it. Okay, connecting the shapes, right? So you got the first shape here, which is going to be this one. Now this shape ends on the flat 3. So let's say we're on the key of, let's say the key of F, just so we can cover the whole fretboard, and I can show you that. So F minor, okay? So then you're going to play the minor pentatonic scale, yeah, the first one. Okay, now this note, the flat 3, this is the note that connects. Now if you follow that line takes you to the major pentatonic scale used at the minor pentatonic scale. Why is this not? Okay, there it is. Okay, now that finger is on the flat 3. So then you take your index finger and put it on the flat 3, and then you just play this shape. And you'll see this connects with this shape if you put the pinky there. You'll see all the notes connect. So now you've got two patterns, this pattern which is this one over here, and you've got this one here which is connecting with it. And the connection point is the flat 3, right? So you find the flat 3. And the way you connect this with the final pattern is you play this pattern up until the root note. Da, 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 da. So there you're at the 1 again, right? Which is the F. And then there you follow the arrow and it takes you to this pattern. Then you're back at the F. And that way you've covered all the pentatonic notes in the key of F minor. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Let me just reiterate everything. So we're going to start with this pattern. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Go to the flat 3, put our index finger there, then play this pattern. And then we're going to go to the 1 and play this pattern starting on the 1. Boom. That is it. And to go from there, just learn each shape by itself, and then make sure you understand each pattern individually first before you go on to the next pattern. So don't go to the next pattern if you haven't gotten a grasp on the first one. And then connect 2 patterns first at a time, and then connect patterns 2 and 3, and then connect patterns 1, 2, and 3. Because you are going to get confused. You'll be like, oh, where am I? I don't know where I am. But it's very important to memorize the string names. I'll just quickly show you here. Where is this? Okay. So if I'm in this thing, let me open it here. Then I'll show you quickly the names of the strings. So it's important to memorize the names of all those of your top E string. Okay, just to memorize the natural ones first, E, F, G, A, and then on the second string the same story. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Then you can kind of get a grip on where you are all the time. But that's it, guys. It's very simple actually, if you think about it. It's not that complicated, just these 3 patterns that you have to connect with each other, and then you're good with jamming the minor pentatonic scale. If you want to jam the major pentatonic scale, it's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be the same 3 patterns, but all the intervals are going to change. Okay, so the flat 3 is going to become the 1, and so on and so forth. And we'll do another video of that, of talking about the major pentatonic scale, but this is the minor pentatonic scale, and this is how it works. So I'm going to do a bunch of songs now from the Black Keys. I'm going to do a bunch of those tutorials, and then you'll see that these pentatonic shapes really come in handy if you know them. Sweet beans. Okay, have a nice day, guys. Cheerio. How do we stop it? Do we stop it here? Yes.